what's up, everybody? It's Mad Movies, and this time it's all of us except Kevin. You'll meet Kevin eventually. He's our fourth person. He works in a symphony hall. We think he kind of like Tommy from Martin. He said he got a job. We never seen him at the job. He's always busy.
Always busy.
But you already know I'm Chris. That's DeVon and Armani, and we gonna run through Ant-Man 3. Quantumania. Oh, it's actually Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Didn't even know that. She became a valuable character in this movie now.
Sure did.
So, brief synopsis. All right, so Scott Lang and his family now. You know, he got Hope, his wife. I think they were married in this movie. Her parents, Janet and Hank, and his daughter, Cassie. They magically just got rid of her mom. You know, she wasn't in the movie at all. I don't know if she did or not. They never really explained that. So what happens is it starts off early with getting them into the quantum realm because they've been experimenting on quantum science because Cassie's trying to get more involved, and they get sucked into the quantum realm. So immediately, like, it's one of the things where everybody gets split up. You know, Scott and his daughter Cassie, they on one side of the quantum realm, and then Hope and her parents on the other side. And Hope mom is just acting real weird. She like, we gotta get out of here. Don't say nothing. Be cool. And then so it's two split stories going on at once. And then on the other side, Scott and Cassie are like kidnapped by these indigenous people, and they don't know what's going on. So starting with the Scott story, they get kidnapped by this group of people that look evil at first. And then they got like some chants going on. They're like, ooga baka, ooga baka, ooga baka. And then he get tied down, and then they put some weird stuff in his mouth. And then they able to understand, like this ooze is able to help them translate in any other dialects. So then after that, he finds out they're all friendly, and there's some this conqueror, some menace taking over their planet, and they're all like just trying to fight in this rebellion. Going to the Hope and her family, Janet is trying to find Scott, and she's trying to do so without letting her family know her history back in the quantum realm. And that's where everything started getting shaky, because she started meeting up with her past, and it keeps coming back to haunt her, and they end up getting captured by Kang's people, and that's when they start to develop what's actually happening.
But the ooze part was hilarious. That was one of the first times I laughed in the movie. Like, daughter sitting there, drink the ooze, drink the ooze.
I was like, what the hell?
What the hell is going on?
It was kind of off. They just threw it like randomly, and I was like, what? And then it made sense.
No, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, nothing. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's what the quantum realm means. Nothing really makes sense down there. It's a universe that's out of the ordinary of anything else that's of matter, and you know, I guess in life. But yeah, I think it was a pretty interesting movie. For the most part, it was visually interesting. It's just funny how Ant-Man continues to survive in the Marvel universe without having to really, you know, play a major role in things.
He's the most A-list, D-list character in all of the Avengers.
You know what?
This
We're
man
not gonna
is
do that.
single-handedly the most important and least important Avenger of all of them. Because without him, you know, they kind of snuck it on us. They was like, let's make this dude the sole reason that everybody is saved in the universe. But he's also still like the least important Avenger. So it's just like, I thought that was always weird that they used him to like bridge the gap and bring everybody back in Endgame.
Look,
I was like, really, this dude?
I'm gonna piggyback that.
Remember he was an Avenger.
I'm gonna piggyback that with kind of how the dude that ran a little ice cream shop or whatever kind of proves your point. Like, he big, but he also D-list. That nigga was like, oh, you get free everything the whole time. The moment he figured out who he actually was and he wasn't Spider-Man, he's like, $12. Rub me my coin. I started hollering. He's like, oh, you're Ant-Man, not Spider-Man? Okay, yeah, give me some money.
Okay, since we
But if you want
segued
to talk about the D-list,
I did want to mention that.
bobblehead boy, that guy, definitely D-list. That might be E-list, F-list. He's like,
Bobblehead boy. Who you
the
talking
dude that was like, the floating head, bro. He's like, at least I...
Oh, you talking
He's
about
like,
you talking about Modok.
at least I die as one of those Avengers. And there's like, okay.
All right. Well,
I mean, it's funny though that
you gotta tell
he
him
was
what
in
to
the
talk
original.
about.
He was in the original movie, so he was able to actually come back from being casted in the original movie.
Right, yeah.
So
You want to explain that to him, DeVon? Like how it went from the first movie to him being in the second, third?
yeah, so most definitely. So MODOK, he's a character that's in the Marvel universe. He's actually pretty prominent. He was created by Kang, and I forget it's another organization, but they basically made him a killing being, where where they distorted his body once he got shrunk down into the quantum realm, and it created him looking like a giant head with like this little bitty body or whatever.
Little
And
baby
it's just
legs.
yeah, and it's funny that his main goal or anything is to eliminate whatever it is that he's told to do. So with him just being like Kang's sidekick, it was really funny to watch him be like a funny evil instead of Kang having to worry about being both. Kind of had like him as a counterpart, which allowed Kang to be continue to be serious. So I mean, I really like that they brought him in to the universe and actually found a way to implement him because he was pretty, I guess, a major character in the comic books when it came to him, being in that once he was introduced into the universe. So
I mean, can we
I actually liked
can
his
we give it
character. He was funny though.
just a few seconds to acknowledge the actor behind Kang and just his ability to be on
You
fire?
talking about Jonathan
Yes,
Majors?
sir. That man's on fire right now. This man's in a ton of movies.
Yeah, he did a really good job
he
playing his thing.
That boy don't
He
miss.
finna tee it up this year. He finna tee it up this year.
Yeah,
Cause
he's already what casted being played as two different Kangs
Yep.
in the universe, and then with the end credit scenes, it shows how many other more Kangs
yeah, he ain't going
that there
nowhere.
possibly could be.
Now my
There's
favorite,
gonna be
still
a
like
lot more.
my favorite movie with him so far that I've seen, because he in Lovecraft Country. I heard about
Devotion?
that.
Yeah,
I haven't
true.
seen
Man,
Devotion.
check that out.
Yeah, I haven't
Paramount.
seen that, but he and White Boy Rick haven't seen that. What is the movie on Netflix that's so fire where it's like the Western? I'm trying to find the name of it. Oh, The Harder They Fall. If you haven't seen that movie,
Oh yeah,
that's the
yeah,
first time
yeah.
I've seen him.
They had so
Yeah,
many people
that
in that
was
movie though. That thing was off the chain.
Yeah,
That's a Black
Yeah, that was
History
a
Month
good-
movie right
yeah.
there. They said let's find every A and B list African American we can and put them in this movie.
It was cold though.
But before we digress too
And he
much
in
from the
Creed.
plot, oh yeah, back to Creed 3.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. But what you were saying about the ice cream man, what he meant is at the beginning of the movie he kept going. He was going through his routine in life. He a best-selling author now, and he would go places, people recognize him. He went to get a coffee, and the dude kept thinking he was Spider-Man. But when they kept saying like, "Oh, Spider-Man," you know what I was thinking, right? Ain't Spider-Man not supposed to be a person no more in the universe? So I felt like that was an Easter egg that Spider-Man might be coming back.
so it's not that Spider-Man is not a person in the universe anymore. They don't understand that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Everybody
So they
knows
forgot Peter
that-
Parker, not Spider-Man.
Exactly, yeah. So don't nobody know that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. So that was kind of the reason why he was able to call him that, because behind the suit you can't tell who they are, but he is an Avenger. So with just him being so excited, it's just like when you see a celebrity out and about, you see a real tall, black, bald-headed guy. First thing
Michael
that comes to
Jordan.
mind, oh man, what basketball team? I know who you are. You know who they are as soon as they got the jersey on. The minute they take that jersey off, they look just like every other basketball player, and you can never think of their name. 10 minutes go down the road, they not even in front of you no more. Oh damn it, that's exactly who that was, and the thing come to mind. So that was kind of like what that was. He's so famous now, and they just know that he's a part of the Avengers. Even with Kang, he's killed so many Avengers. At first, it seems like he don't even recognize Scott because he's like, which Avenger are you? I don't know if you're
Are you the one with the hammer?
or have I killed you before? Why is it that you're back now? But you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. He's a familiar face. So it was a nice play because honestly, it's really good character development. The first movie, and when he was in like Civil War and some of the other movies, he wasn't popular at all. He was a person that a lot of people didn't know anything about. Then in Endgame, you can see where he was kind of somewhat popular when they were in the coffee shop talking to the Hulk, trying to get him back on the team once they figured out where he was. And the kids and all the fans and stuff, they were happy to see the Hulk. But even when Ant-Man opened up his mouth like, "Hey man, y'all want a picture with me?" They were like, no, not really. Like it's cool that you're here, but you're not nobody that's famous. And so now he's selling books and he's got real deal fans now. You can even see like the little kid with the book bag. That just goes to show you how famous he is now. He's got merch in the stores and everything now, and actually got real kids that look up to him and not other Avengers. So it's
so that
it's cool
actually
character development.
that actually ties us back to the beginning. So one of the big things that was a struggle, like one of the character things, was his daughter was feeling like she wanted to help more people because she felt like Scott was no longer helping people the way that he used to, because he let his celebrity get to his head. And she's like, so like she was arrested for like shrinking the cop car because they were like trying to clear out this homeless shelter, and he like, what the heck? Everybody else in the family knew about it, but him. And he was like, why everybody hiding a secret? And they like, because basically you letting your ego get to your head. We know you saved the world, but what are you doing now? And she felt like she needed to do something to pick up his slack. So that's how she started like investigating the quantum realm and start going down that path.
Between the two Ant-Man movies, which one is your favorite? Don't break into Wobby.
It's three of them, so yeah.
Are we? Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, this is the best one. It's the best one out of all of them.
This last one?
Yeah, bro.
I like, bro.
Reason why Ant-Man
his daughter's a
even,
thug. I definitely was messing with her character for sure.
I mean, it's cool because what she's supposed to be, the Stinger or something like that. That's what her character is in the Marvel universe. So it's cool that they setting up the young Avengers, but that's really what I feel like all of these movies are doing. The movies before,
they kind of getting rid of the old and bringing in the new.
I mean, I understand that. That's totally fine that you can do that, but there's nothing. The movies are not set up like how they used to be. The movies before used to feel like a movie that you could just feel comfortable going to watch and be like, all right, I like this. You go watch the movies now and you're just being introduced to so many different things, and they're trying to implement so many things that's in a bigger picture, in a grand scheme of things, instead of you just being able to sit back and just, enjoy that movie as what it is. Once you sit up there and you watch
every political agenda, every
Easter egg, so many layers in the movie now.
You can't have me focused on a timeline and all these social issues.
And then what be the most important part is the end credit scenes. Once the end credit scenes come up, then that's what you forget about the whole entire movie you just watch. Yeah, because you're sitting up there waiting to see what's coming up next.
I mean, but isn't that not a genius marketing ploy? Because how many movies can you watch?
It is, but it's clickbait. It's clickbait.
Oh, in a sense, yeah, of course. But I mean, isn't the goal to make a movie so good where people can watch it over and over again and still find out something new that they didn't catch?
That's not what's going on now. But that's not what. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's not.
I mean, you still.
Because listen, wait, yes or no, would you agree that Thor, the newest Thor, Love and Thunder, it was a decent movie. It was good. Haven't thought about rewatching it.
Not once.
It was better than the first two. It wasn't better than the third one.
But as
it wasn't better than Ragnarok.
No Way Home. But I ain't watched that again.
I ain't watched it again.
But as more movies come out and it intertwines with different parts on the timeline, you may be more prompted to go check on something, knowing that there could have been something there you might not have caught as opposed to what it would have been otherwise.
You know what these movies do?
That's my point.
These movies are coming
because people were like
coming out too quick. It's what it is.
I mean, you got to think when we was growing up, bro. We was young, bro. Movies took 5-6 years. They put
That's what I'm saying. Like back then, think about it. Like,
put more in it.
We had like one Marvel movie come out a year back in like 2008 when Iron Man came out, and Hulk, those were both like 2008, 2009, and then every year we like, oh, this is the movie for the year. We digested it, we like can't wait for the next one. Infinity War, Endgame, it was like a year between them. Now we getting what didn't one just come out? What did we just watch? Oh,
we watched
just came out, and now Ant-Man. Then we got Shazam, Flash. We got so much superhero coming out of us now. It's like saturating to where we can't even digest one movie, and we starting to blur them all together. So it's just like, what did we just watch?
I think that goes back to the hidden agendas that you guys was kind of getting on, that they want to be able to produce a hero that these kids that are growing up now that are so different than we were, right, can find a hero that they relate with. They're trying to put.
I can see that.
It's so many things to relate with now, though, compared to
of course. But,
so they gotta have 100 heroes to match every agenda compared to 10.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but if they don't find that kid, that kid goes somewhere else. Do something different.
Well, I'm saying I love like I think it's good to reach out and have that inclusivity because we was talking about that at church. But you know, just saying like I don't know. It's like when me and DeVon was talking about in the Black Panther review. We went to see Black Panther to watch superheroes. We don't want to see the hidden agendas behind stuff because that kind of, for me, it ruins the entertainment aspect of things because it comes too real. I'm like, I'm trying to escape from social issues.
Exactly, exactly. And you bringing them to the big screen. I agree.
What did y'all think about the universe? Did y'all think it was like beautiful? Did you think it was excessive? Did you think it was like what did you think about the quantum realm? Especially compared to the fact that we've seen the quantum realm before and it was nothing like this and they never really addressed how it became a life possessing place.
It kind of makes sense. So like if you're looking into the movie, remember when Janet and Kane basically had their dispute with each other and she caused him to not be able to go home anymore and to be able to travel?
Yeah.
At that
You want
point
to
in
explain
time,
that scene real quick, Tom?
okay, yeah, for sure. So once we see that scene, that's basically the first time that we actually see Kane inside of this movie. It's not the first time that Kane gets introduced to us. We have Kane introduced to us. I want to say the last episode of Loki, and that's when he's the
a variant of himself.
He's a variant of
himself.
The one who knows all, exactly. So that would be a Kane variant. This is going to be a different Kane variant, but this is the Kane variant that was banished away from the entire coalition of Kanes that are in whatever world universe that they're from. Basically, he was exiled from there because he was on a different agenda than what the rest of the Kanes were, and could have possibly caused a rift in the
multiverse.
Universe, in the multiverse that they did not want to cause. So with that being said, instead of killing him and causing a ripple in effect, they went ahead and just banished him into a place where time did not matter. Time is such a priority and a major, accolade, or not an accolade, but I don't know. I guess a good word for it is just like time is just something that Kane is,
he's used to manipulating it to his.
Yeah, he's not even concerned with it.
Yeah,
his resource.
I think
because he lives outside the means of it. But if he don't have time, he really can't see what's going on in the future or the past, and he feels stuck in that moment where he's more vulnerable than if he was like out of the quantum realm and could like predict things and stuff.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I mean, I think
with time,
even with the like the ending credit, it really put it in perspective, like how expansive the quantum realm really is when you talk about how many of him we saw at the end. Like I wasn't really counting.
Well, they're not inside the quantum realm.
But they about to be.
No, they're not. They're not about to be in the quantum realm. No, the quantum realm is where that Kane was exiled to. It was a prison for him. Time does not matter there. It's not the same. It's outside. So with that being said, he was stuck there, especially after she destroyed his core. Right. But the reason why that the quantum realm that we saw in the previous times,
right? You talking about like Spider-Man and
don't look like this. No, the other quantum realm. Well,
because it was in Spider-Man.
Remember,
they all like ping back into it now. Like all the new movies touch it on some level.
Spider-Man was in the multiverse.
Yeah,
this one had the quantum realm.
The quantum
realm.
The
quantum realm. Go ahead.
Okay, well, the quantum realm is something that was from Phase 4, where they used that in order to go back in time to do the time heist. So the quantum realm, time, you can manipulate time around the quantum realm and use that in order to, time does not matter there. So as long as you can pinpoint where you want to go in time, you can travel through a small portion of the quantum realm. Now, that's not them being in the quantum realm, but they use the quantum realm to travel through time. That was where Ant-Man was stuck in the second movie in the end credit scenes once they got blipped.
Okay.
He was only down there for like 5 hours versus everybody being gone for 5 years out in the real world. But that's not the same time that's in a different multiverse or that's in this multiverse. So with that being said, inside of the quantum realm, anytime that we seen it, it always looked really crazy because it was in that time, it was in that area of the quantum where it was so toxic, it was so bad that you couldn't be there in such a long period of time and actually survive. So that's why nothing looked actually like it was, livable in those areas because it was such a far out, vast area of the quantum realm to where Kane couldn't see where she was at. So that was the reason why she traveled there, and that was the way she was able to get out of there. But she had to send that signal up to them, letting them know that she was there so that Kane didn't figure out about that. That was that's how MODOK found them. She
Right.
was smart enough to be able to use her ping in order to use it so that they could find her out in the universe that they was in. But it was they was in an area where MODOK and Kane wasn't able to see that. But when Scott's daughter started searching the quantum realm, she doesn't understand that I can't be looking further and further deep into it where I'm not supposed to. So she's getting further
Yeah.
and further into it where people are actually able to be the have civilizations and stuff where Kang was, where the people that were being killed by Kang's people and stuff like that, where he was conquering all of their worlds. Those are part of the quantum realm that's so far deep that they're able to actually live and stuff. So with that being said, that was where she was looking, and that was why MODOK found her ping, and then that was why he was able to open up the quantum realm and drag them down into there. So that was the reason why the quantum realm looks completely different than what we've ever seen it before, and that was the reason why they started giving us so much more detail. Because I guess if you want to like put it in retrospect of like the Earth, you got the Earth outer core. I mean, you got the outer layer, then you got the crust, the mantle, then you got the core, and so they just went so far down into it to where they were able to find other people and stuff like that living there. So I thought that was pretty cool that they dug even further into the quantum realm, because we only know of it just enough to where they can travel through it in order to pop up in other parts of time, not necessarily go into the quantum realm to where time is not a non-matter.
Yeah. I think the quantum realm still left a lot. Well, the movie in general left a lot of questions. Like for instance, I feel like it didn't explain at all the different types of beings. So like how, I mean, I guess that's just like a Star Wars thing. You just gotta accept that it's beings from all different universes stuck down in the quantum realm. Maybe that's why they all look different, not just Earthlings. But it was still like humanoid people down there. You had the broccoli type people. You had what was his name, Zeb, or the Jello Man, who they took the sluice from. So it was like a lot of different sentient beings down there. You had people that looked like a battery. But it also, I felt like, maybe this is for a separate story, I just feel like they never really explained the Kane background well enough in this movie. Like, all he kept hinting at like the beef he had with his people, but he never really said flat out like this is their plan. This is what's going. And I think that's just lead up based on the end credit scenes that they're gonna say, oh, this is what he was trying to stop. Because even Scott, after he
he sat there
Kane
contemplating
and
it.
destroyed that variant, he was like, dang, he said that I was gonna kill the entire universe if I didn't let him go. What y'all think?
So
I think he messed up.
go ahead, D.
No, I was saying, like, I was piggybacking with what Chris was saying, because there was so much left up in the air with that end. And, honestly, I appreciate you breaking down multiverse from, the quantum realm. So I think for more of the casual Marvel person like myself, we might think they kind of just overlap. Because that's kind of what I thought.
I can understand that.
I'm thinking it's the same thing, because both of
I
them
can
seem
understand
so,
that. Yeah.
far off. But you get to the end,
Yeah.
and he's sitting here, literally the last 5 minutes of the movie, he's saying, which did he do right? Did he do wrong? He's talking about he's trying to protect them from himself. And then you see at the end of the movie 100 versions of himself that are dressed like they from Egypt, they dress like they from, Russia, and it makes you think, okay, they finna fight this fight 100 times over again.
Yeah,
You know
almost
what I'm
definitely.
saying?
But
I think
yeah.
it seemed like the few for the many type of thing Kane was doing. He was like, yeah, I'm killing like 100 multiverses to save 1,000 multiverses. You don't understand the bigger picture here. Like, all my people are crazy. I have to get rid of all of them because I'm the only lot. It's kind of like a Thanos complex. Thanos said everybody thought he was crazy when a lot of people would say Thanos had some meat to his potatoes. He was trying to save the world from running out of resources, the universe. So that's why he did the blip. He didn't do it just out of pure malice and hatred. He was like, we run out of the finite resources we have. So I think all these these big tier, what do you call them? Like the big bosses at the end, they all have they think they're right. They know that in the eyes of the many, their methods are wrong, but their overall plan is for the overall good. I think a lot of times.
and that's kind of the difference between Kang and Thanos. Thanos had an ultimate goal at the end that he wanted to, actually be successful in. Versus Kang ultimately knows that nothing matters because all is going to end anyway, no matter what
at his own
happens
hand.
Yeah.
at his own hand. And the only reason why is that's what the Secret Wars is about. It's a multiverse uh, clash that happens where so many multiverses are battling it out to where they cause the entire death of all, all universes all together. And that's because of all of the multiverse rifts that happen every time that somebody goes back in the past. It causes a whole nother rift in the multiverse. And with Kane traveling through different multiverses, causing havoc in those and using those, and basically causing, trouble in those universes. Those people in those universes are traveling into other universes in order to fight him and catch him, which is going to make all of those universes crash together. So he does not truly have an ultimate goal at the end. That's why every time he go back in the past, he's not trying to change anything, but he goes back in the past with the knowledge that he has. And every time that he goes back in the past, he creates a whole new variant of himself. And so he knows that whatever he does is going to happen anyway. That's why he just goes back in the past to kind of just either do it over, or if he dies, he does it over, or goes back in the past and it causes a whole nother variant of himself. The only crazy thing is just that I like that we'll be able to see many different types of him and not the same. We kind of saw that with Thanos, where Thanos died after he had already kind of been defeated, but he made it to his end goal, versus seeing the Thanos in the
The end
past.
game.
Exactly. And he was so hungry at that time because he didn't have any of the stones. He didn't know when he was going to get the stones. He didn't know anything about anything other than him just going to search for them. Once he had that upper hand of being able to look into the future and see that he actually was able to get all of the stones at a point in time, he didn't give a fuck about being able to, do it or trust the fact that that's going to happen. He went straight into the future to grab the stones just to make sure, just to take the shortcut. And that's what
Yeah,
ended
and
up
he was
causing him to come back.
yeah, but that Thanos was less mature, and but I feel like he was
He was
stronger
more
but less
evil.
mature.
He was more evil too.
Yeah, the other one was softer. Now,
Plus,
uh,
he hadn't killed what's her name yet,
Gamora.
Gamora. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So with this movie, some questions about the powers, because we know none of the people in this movie actually have superpowers. Kang get all his powers from technology, like all the beams he was shooting, technology, his little floaty things, it's all technology. And then Ant-Man suits, and it's all technology. I personally, I think Ant-Man powers, they cool sometimes, like they got some use, like deactivating the nuke or whatever. But then most of the time when you just get big and start punching things in slow motion, I just be like, all right, this all you got. You can't even fight that well. And I never understood why when things grow big or you got like a Megazord or something, why they gotta move in slow motion. Why you can't move at the same speed as everybody else? I gotta watch this man walk for 20 minutes to get to the base
I
as a
mean,
65-foot.
that's physics,
Man,
bro.
that
I
man is the
mean,
size of
that's just
buildings.
that's, yeah, of course, bro. If you drop
The
something
same reason your Navy
from
battleship
five
moves
from
slow as
5 feet
hell.
away, yeah, it's
That's
like if you drop something to the ground and it take it 5 minutes to hit the ground versus 5 hours from it falling. You know what I'm saying? From so high in the sky, it's just a size difference, bro. In a it's, I mean, just like normal physics, bro. It's a physical thing, bro. That's just like saying, oh, why does Godzilla move so slow, but he like a super being? It should be no reason why he don't move
No,
that fast.
no, because King Kong moved fast as hell. There we go. King Kong moved like a normal person, and he just as big as everything else. King Kong was whooping that dinosaur ass.
You got a point. You got a point. You do have a point. Okay, we're getting too far off. All right, now what do y'all
Yeah,
like?
yeah.
Okay, all right, now as far as being, so I know that you said that you don't necessarily understand why Kane was exiled, what his beef is with the rest of the coalition, any of that. I understand that they don't explain that to you, but would you rather know what that is and know everything that's going on ahead of time and then just wait for it to play out? Or would you rather for you to learn as everything plays out?
It all developed. I think they're gonna make it because they had in the end credits they had the coalition. That's what we call them. They didn't say that was the coalition, but clearly this movie was a bite off of Rick and Morty. So that was a coalition of Ricks. This is a coalition of Kings. Uh, they had a meeting at the end, and then after the second end trailer was from Loki, and they were showing him back in time as like the one who travels time or something, the time traveler. Forgot the one what they called him.
I
So I
forgot what
think
his
that
name is too, but yes, he's the time traveler version of Kane.
yeah. So I think they gonna do the thing like they did with WandaVision and uh, Universe of Madness. You gotta watch the Disney Plus shows to be current on what's happening with the Marvel movies because you wouldn't even know who Kane was if you didn't watch Loki because that's the first and only
That is
time
the
they
first
really
time you
showed him.
see him. Yeah, you're right. So, I mean, I agree. I would like for it to develop as time goes on, and for me to see it that way instead of actually knowing exactly what happens, because that's what makes it far more entertaining for us. That also allows them to be able to take what we know from the comic books and what we can actually read and kind of make an adaptation to it. That way, that it's fresh for us when it comes to watching it. I will say that's what not to get off topic, but that's what that movie, the A Knock at the Cabin, failed at. I don't know if y'all seen
I
that
was
or not
excited
yet.
about that,
Did
but you
you?
told me
Did you?
not to watch it, so I didn't even go.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, you can go watch it. That way, you can have your own preference. But again, that's just one of those movies there where it would have been way better and entertaining. Again, if I didn't see the trailer, and if they didn't necessarily explain the movie in the very beginning of the movie. Um,
Mm.
just
They didn't leave
imagine
nothing for a big reveal.
nothing. Just imagine if that's how the movie played out, where you first started watching Ant-Man, and he's like, "Man, I think I'm gonna travel to the quantum realm with my daughter just so we can go explore some things and have bonding time with each other." And then I might just run into somebody else down there that really is trying to escape, and he's going to use me in order to escape, in order to destroy the rest of the world. But I'm going to be the Ant-Man to stop it. And when I do it, I'm gonna be the best Avenger ever, and everybody's gonna love me, and I save the day. Like, I did not want to fucking know the movie in the beginning of the movie in order to,
I mean,
just sit up here and watch it and watch it
but if
play
you
out.
talk about just movies in general, that's not anything that's unheard of, especially more so in a TV series or something like this, where they're going to be piggybacking movies after movies after movies off of a general plot. I mean, they kind of did it in a sense with Endgame, where how many movies do they start off at the beginning? They show you pretty much what the ending of it is going to look like, and then go right after that scene, go 6 days prior, 4 days prior, 2 days. Like it's not anything that's unheard of,
Right, right, right,
but I think it's
right.
successful either way. You get what I'm saying? Because the whole time you're watching and they already told you kind of what happened, there still is this element of how does it get to there, right? Because you're more likely to sit there and be engaged and say, okay, I don't want to miss anything that puts this puzzle piece together, rather than
Of
you
course.
are if you have no idea of what's going to happen at the end, and you're like, I could squeeze out real quick and then come back because I'm not going to miss anything. It's still an hour and a half left in this movie, right? It makes
Right,
the
right,
consumer more intrigued on connecting the small pieces, which might lead to them leaving that theater and going to watch those TV shows.
right. Yeah, yeah.
They did something similar to what you're saying in Black Adam when the whole time they kept foreshadowing Hawkman's
Mm-hmm.
death, but it was like something
Something
completely
completely
different when
different.
it
And it was,
actually happened. It
and with
wasn't
this whole quantum
yeah.
realm and multiverse, there are multiple different scenarios on how things could truly end, and they could always switch it up.
Oh,
And here you are thinking,
let's talk
go ahead.
about that too. The the possibility scene that was my least
Yeah,
favorite
we
scene. I
okay.
think
Before the
when
least
he shrunk
favorite,
down
what
that
is your favorite scene in the movie?
I want to say my favorite scene is probably Kane and all of his army, and honestly just the fight scene at the end. I really enjoyed that part of the
Which
movie.
one we talking about?
Um,
Like we're talking about
I'm talking about the one
on the
I'm talking
ship,
about the
like
one at
on
the
the
very
in the
end.
office type thing. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically, once Ant-Man grew big and started, destroying his city and stuff like that. I felt like that was the best part of the
I
movie.
mean,
Well,
it was
yeah,
like
the best part of the
the
movie
reason
to
I was
me.
asking is because it's really like two separate fight scenes in there. You got the initial one, right, and which was kind of
Hmm.
confusing because
Then the one where he got his ass
right, and
whooped.
you see the ants take him away. You like, damn, Pops won this with the ants. All it took was some ants, and they took him away. But did he kill all the ants and then come back? You know what I'm saying? Because it's a whole nother fight scene when they trying to leave, which I thought
Yeah,
that one was badass. The one where she
yeah.
come out of the portal and she like, oh no, we not having this,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, I really do like both of the scenes, but I like that whole entire ending part.
mm,
I really, as soon as they started getting sucked into the quantum realm, I really had to sit back and think, like, damn, bro, I just bought a movie and I've watched for the next 2 hours and it's straight finna be CGI, bro. They doing everything in front of a damn green screen. I totally forgot that
yeah,
shit. And so that right there just
Yeah.
kind of put me into the mood of just being like, all right, I'm gonna just sit up here and understand this, that this is gonna be a visually aesthetic movie, and that I'm gonna have to try to, pay attention and just try to read up on the movie maybe later on because I know I'm gonna be way too distracted with all of the visuals that's going on in the movie instead of actually paying
yeah.
attention
I,
to
I
the actual just story
I
plot.
think the visual concepts have become so like extreme with a lot of these movies now. Like the idea, or maybe it's just our age at this point, right? 'Cause we're not even that old. We on the older side, but obviously we're not teenagers and whatever. But I think the idea of even seeing these movies in 3D is like exhausting to my eyelids. Like
Oh yeah,
I'm not doing it in
it's too
3D.
much.
I'm
It's
not doing no 3D.
I've seen
Yeah.
like two
but
movies in
think about
3D in
how
my
like
life.
how
Avatar.
cool that was. Like we used to, we finna go see that in
Oh yeah, yeah,
3D.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was like
True.
that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
big, and now with technology,
yeah.
it's just so far past that the ideal of watching their intense in regular standards. That to
Hmm.
think I'm gonna put these glasses on and watch it at a whole other level of you know visual concept. You can't, you really can't.
Right.
But I would say my favorite one. I like the funny scenes, but I'm thinking my favorite part is gonna be probably a tie between the guy said I have hope because that shit was just hilarious
Okay.
to me, and
Yeah, that was very.
them blowing up the octopus the shot drink, and then the octopus like eating him at the beginning.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was.
that was
Yeah,
because he's like
yeah.
yeah, don't drink this drink unless you really want to become a different person. And he drank it. You like, good. That's a little wild.
Hey, what's funny about that was that did you see how the squid like begged him not to drink
Yep.
him? Like
Yeah.
he said, "No,
Yeah.
Please. That boy
he
got
drank
crunched
that
on.
mug up anyway,
You
bro."
know,
And it just intimidated and scared the
did
other
you guys
one.
pick
And
up
then as soon as he got the chance, he ate him,
did you
bro.
guys pick up on kind of the inappropriate wordplay with him and his wife when she's like, "Go ahead and drive the ship. You'll be good at it." Right? And then
Hmm.
she says, put your fist in it like stuffing a turkey. Hold up. What is she putting your fist in?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Maybe my mind just went to the other. That's an instant right. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
between those two,
I would say my favorite scene actually was the one where Kang and Janet was putting his ship back together, and up until you see Kang with Cassie and Scott, like that whole introduction to Kang, because you see a development like quickly of like two sides on. Because at first you like, oh, he kind of saw, they ain't really showed his crazy moment yet, but as soon as he got that suit, he went crazy on. And you're like, oh, he kind of bipolar. And then with the scene with Cassie and Scott in the cages, it just like showed how confident he was in his power and his ability to like get whatever he wanted. Like he threw MODOK around the room with his fingers. He was like constricting them and flipping them, and he and then he let them go. He like opened the cages and pretty much he didn't say nothing. He didn't even look Ant-Man in his eyes. He was just like, "Do you have a problem, young brother?" Like I was like, okay, he about that life. Like he challenged Scott without saying nothing. Like I dare you to raise a hand to me right now.
Right.
And the way he was just like smacking people around like when they try to shrink. So I just thought it embodied like the type of he acted like a conqueror. He did his thing. Jonathan Majors was my favorite person in this movie, probably.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
My least favorite. What was I talking about before we started? The most.
He was talking about just him as a character.
My least favorite character was
your favorite character.
Oh yeah, my least favorite was like MODOK. Any scene with him was just too cheesy, too much comic relief, where I couldn't even like really
hey,
get behind.
What? That man, she said, old girl said, yeah, just don't be a dick. What else am I supposed to do but be a dick? I was like, bruh.
he was like, look at me.
I'm a dick.
I think they should have did more trying to show like the rebellion and like just a little bit, like 10 minutes of the like story of her rebellion against Kang. Like everybody, you just heard her say, "Oh, you should have seen her back in the day when she was fighting against Kang, and then she just left." You kind of just heard stories, but you never actually got a visual of what she was out there doing and what the conquering was.
I wouldn't even say that.
Like,
I mean,
how that looked, him conquering.
Yeah, it's not necessary to see. I don't think.
I think you were able to connect the dots and see, okay, despite what it may have looked like before she helped him at least get his cloak back and be able to have some type of powers, all these people were talking about how he burned everything that was there. And she left. She's been gone for, a handful of time, and he come back, and this is what it is now. It's very clear that he didn't have any control, and you left this man here with his powers, and nobody has the powers to really compete with him. So he just set everything up because he has technology that's so much more advanced than anybody there has even seen before.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, honestly, this is just one of them. This is just another Kang that we saw, bro. Like, this is not a Kang to get attached to. Just do not get attached to this Kang. That'll just help you, get past this movie a lot better. It was just an introduction to him. They explained more than what we got over the last couple of years of when we first seen him when it came to Loki. But we understand what Kang is because, if you pay attention to the comic books and stuff like that. We know that Kang is going to become something even more devilish and more evil as time goes on because just, all his different variants, even the variants that we spoke of, have some type of intimidation against some of the other ones that come after him or before him. So he knows that there is great danger that's coming. We don't really know if that Kang was really trying to stop grave danger or not, or if he was really just trying to get back to being a part of it, but we'll see. The crazy thing is, it's just that it's very possible for us to see a Kang pop up in everything from here on out, not just here and there or the major Marvel movies. We got an Avengers movie that's coming out sometime.
Do you suspect that they'll
next year
have issues differentiating like the different versions of Kang? Or how do they go about?
No, not at all. Not at all. No, they got them looking crazy as hell, bro.
I mean, each one is going to look like substantially different than the other one, but I just feel like
they all got different names too.
Okay.
So the one that we saw that was back in time where they saw Loki, that was Victor Timely. You got Iron Lad, you got Pharaoh Ramatut, and Scarlet Centurion. That's another good one that you'll see. That was the one that you saw that looked robotic. The Scarlet Centurion. And then there's a couple other ones that we see on here, but those are the main major different variants of him other than the other hundreds of thousands that you see inside of the that you saw inside of the end credit scene.
So with what we talked about, what would y'all rate this movie? Where would y'all let it fall in the MCU?
Probably like a 6 out of 10 for me. Just because, again, I'm okay with them. I really appreciate all of the old Marvel movies and the fact that they're not trying to actually revamp any of those. Like how we keep getting, Jurassic Parks, Screams, Halloween. You know what I'm saying? It's certain movies, even the Transformers. I'm sick and tired of them. They about to drop another one, but. It's just so many movies that they have these prolonged series that shouldn't, happen.
So I think I give it like a 7. I see what they try to do, but I don't think it was any originality to this movie as far as like they world they created. All I could think about was Spy Kids 3D
Yeah.
when he was in the video game, and Star Wars and Rick and Morty with the fighting variants and stuff. I'm like, bruh, ain't none of this something I ain't like. I couldn't just focus on the plot because I was thinking about everybody else's plots being bit off of. Even the costumes look the same. Like, I'm like, come on, bro, this is Spy Kids behind me.
Hey, it's just funny to see that. The only reason why it's really like that is because they continue to use a lot of the same people for all of the different movies. The same writers, the same directors, all that stuff, bro. They all have the same hands on things.
Fresh.
So yeah, it would be nice. What about you, D? What you call this one?
I mean, again, for me, representing the side that's not as immersed in everything that goes with each one of these movies, just casual person watching every single one that comes to the big screen. I'd say it was probably a 7, and it just, I think the visual aspects of it was a little much at times, but from start to finish, like I enjoyed the whole movie. I mean, but the one thing I kept asking myself was like, we're not even in this situation if the mother would just tell them what she had did there.
Oh yeah,
I understand how traumatic it might have been to even, because even her explaining it during the movie, how she touched the orb and it opened her mind and everything. I get all that, but this whole thing is completely avoidable if you have the conversation with your daughter, who in the movie said multiple times she had reached out to you to try to gain some type of understanding.
To try to figure out.
Right, so now you down here getting all your dirty laundry aired out and possibly putting the entire family in danger off of something that could have been avoided.
And your husband know you was getting your cheeks blown out by Bill Murray for 30 years.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
for real.
Straight up.
I thought the same thing. I was like, dang, bro, she was down there getting clapped on by Bill. Ain't no telling how much kind of fun they was having with all them other different different creatures that was down there. That's crazy. Well, Creed on the 3rd.
That's what's coming out.
Yeah,
Creed is the 3rd.
Yeah, that's next week. And then you got 65 coming out. That's on the 10th. And then what's on the 17th of this month?
Shazam.
Is it? Yeah, Shazam. And then you got John Wick coming out the week after that.
So what you most excited for? I'm excited for John Wick.
John Wick is the only thing.
John Wick, Creed, Shazam, and then 65 because I ain't seen that.
Yeah.
But I think this
for me,
this need to be the last John Wick.
Before John Wick. John Wick will be a better.
You like the second one?
Which one?
You like the second one that much? Creed. I ain't even seen the second one twice.
No, I mean, I think this third one, because I'm pretty sure Michael B. was doing some of the directing of this movie.
He did all
right,
yeah, he did direct.
Right, so I think.
I just want to see Jonathan Majors in here. He looked like he finna.
Oh, he definitely. You think it's gonna be two fights in there?
No.
It's gonna be like a.
Because it's giving me feels that they'll probably have him lose one. Yeah, and then,
he always lose one and win the next one.
Or but that's
both of them. But
but he was also being established in the other movies. I feel like this one here, he's gonna start managing him to get him back up on his feet, and that's who you'll see fight most of the time. And then there's gonna actually be him training, which that's when you'll start seeing him in a little bit of action that'll lead up to the actual big fight at the end. But but if there is 2 fights, it's not gonna be a fair one. It's gonna be a unfair one. It's probably not gonna be in a ring. I feel like it'll be something that'll happen that'll lead them into the ring.
Fight.
Yeah, that's gonna push them into the ring, and then that's where it'll be handled. But if it's gonna be another one, it's probably gonna be in a 4th movie if a 4th one comes.
Bet. All right, so we gonna hit Creed next then.
Big time.
Talk about that in two weeks then.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. Thanks for listening to Mad Movies episode 4 or 5. Who knows? But
it's up there.
Thank you.